to start sort of for all the Bitcoiners here, it's actually quite trivial what I'm going to talk about, but I actually want to start by sort of elevating the crowd more to what everybody here already understands. But what's really surprising is that all of the banks and all of the global financial institutions are sort of starting to realize, and that is sort of our generation, Generation Y, and technology is starting to disrupt finance in a very profound kind of way. And last week I had the pleasure of being in Washington and with the CEOs of basically the largest banks in the world. And what was really amazing is that all of them were talking about Bitcoin. So CEOs of Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, Bank of America, HSBC, were all talking about Bitcoin and how technology and innovation is going to disrupt their business. And what I found extremely interesting is that a lot of them didn't necessarily understand what Bitcoin is, or what it is about. But everybody could say the word Bitcoin, and everybody were talking about something called blockchain technology. And this is the first time, actually, that in a conference of these banks, they're at all talking about technology. Not about Bitcoin, but this is the first time they're actually talking about how technology is going to disrupt their business. Bitcoin is simply the accelerator of what we've seen over the internet sort of happening to the largest industry in the world, which is the financial services industry. And that is really being started by the fact that we have billions of people with mobile phones, and with Bitcoin, that really means that we also have billions of people with the ability to actually open a digital wallet quite easily. Financial inclusion, or specifically exclusion, is a big problem in the world. Everybody wants to see billions of people with access to money, and today that's not really possible, but financial institutions understand that basically the Bitcoin technology can really transform that. And when they're afraid, or when they're figuring out that something's going to change, it's really because of the acceleration of how things are happening on the internet. And that's something that, again, really depends on the crowd. So most places, when I say that Bitcoin could have 50 million users in 2 years, they consider me crazy. Here, I assume from the raise of hands that if I'll say Bitcoin's going to have 50 million users in 2 years, you're all going to joke and say it's going to be 200. So, but it really, the reason this is mind-blowing is because this is the fastest moving financial asset that was ever created. No one has ever talked about a financial asset at that magnitude that is so early stage. This is actually quite comparable to the invention of the euro. And what we're seeing is basically the expansion of the Bitcoin. People are talking actually about 8 or 10 million wallets this year and reaching 50 next year, which shows the potential of this entire ecosystem. The other thing that everybody's talking about, which is again very much related, is that older people are now transferring huge amounts of money. There's $90 trillion in assets under management in the world. Just to give a perspective, Bitcoin now is 5 billion. Everybody's talking about the bubble. There's 90 trillion out there. And everybody also is talking about the fact that there's $1 trillion that's going to move a generation lower. So it's from someone 70, 80 years old to someone 30, 40 years old who really got used to a completely new experience over the internet. Now I want to talk a bit, first I'm going to do a shameless plug about eToro, and then I want to also say why I was excited about Bitcoin, and then I'm going to talk quickly about colored coins and show the demo. And at eToro, we have quite a unique situation where we're dealing a lot with innovation, but we're also a financial regulated company. And every time I talk to big banks or financial institutions, their biggest worry is always compliance and regulation. And as a regulated entity, we also understand why. eToro today is the leading social investment network. Basically, Facebook meets E-Trade, so a place where everybody can see what everybody's investing in, and we're actually offering assets, whether it's shares, commodities, and indices for people to buy. And our interest in Bitcoin has been always twofold, and that's also what everybody's talking about. One is the fact that there's the Bitcoin as a currency. And the Bitcoin as a currency is interesting because some people say this is gold. This is basically gold 2.0. There's amazing slides from Zappo CEO really showing how this can replace potentially gold, and anyone can actually buy this new 2.0 gold, which survived for 5,000 years. So if Bitcoin's going to survive now for 5,000 years, this is a very good time to go into eToro and actually buy some Bitcoin for your kids or for yourselves for your pension. But the much more interesting, and this is obviously a very speculative investment, Bitcoin, but what's certain, and everybody understands that, is the technology part. And a lot of the people here, how many people here, by the way, have some background in technology? Yes, novice crowd, many. Is that what every person who has background in technology sees is something that reminds him of the early days of the internet. Basically of sort of like 94 to 96, early day of the internet, first time you opened the browser. So all the geeks here, when they first opened the browser, regardless of what was on there, sort of had a hard-on of like, wow, this is cool, right? And I think what we're seeing right now is basically the same thing, just with money. And it's not only us, it's every VC in the world is looking at Bitcoin and saying this is the future of money. This is the internet of money, and this is potentially disruptive to a huge industry called the financial services industry. And by the way, this is just a great slide from CoinDesk quarterly update. What you can see here is in 2014, there's going to be more investing in Bitcoin companies by VCs than there were in '95 in the internet. And a lot of this is led by great people like Fred Wilson or Mark Anderson, who actually founded Netscape, saying this is really the next big thing in technology. But when we talk about technology, what we need to understand is Bitcoin is basically a first layer of technology. For me and for others, I've heard that Bitcoin really represents something which is sort of like the TCP/IP. It's the basic protocol that everybody's excited about, but mostly people with a lot of technology background, mostly geeks, are excited about the fact that this is a general ledger, a public ledger, and we can start transferring value over it to one another. Obviously, I won't go into the details of Bitcoin. It seems like everybody here understands what Bitcoin is about. But what is interesting is the entire discussion about Bitcoin 2.0. So David talked about this a bit, but the idea of Bitcoin 2.0 is basically all the layers you can build on top of a public asset ledger. So the huge opportunity of a public asset ledger, if you think today about financial institutions, so at eToro we're connected to a couple of very obviously big banks where we buy a lot of, around $250 billion worth of assets, and all of these are sort of split database, so none of our database is ever synced, and we all actually need to constantly reconcile and check if we actually did what we did. This is a very tedious project. The concept of Bitcoin 2.0 is to use the blockchain technology, either the existing Bitcoin blockchain or other blockchains such as Ethereum, and basically to build on top of that more assets. So today, everybody's excited about transferring Bitcoins to one another, but potentially you can use the same asset ledger to issue things like dollar coin or euro coin or gold coin or Google shares or Apple shares, or potentially the ownership to your apartment or the ownership to your car. So you can use a public ledger and you can transfer those rights on the internet. So I'll just take an extreme case. The extreme case is a blockchain can be used to basically open my car. So I park my car, I go 30 minutes, I walk 30 minutes, then I transfer with my digital wallet the keys of my car to a friend who's closer to my car so he can bring the car to me, right? So it's sort of I'm transferring a key, I'm transferring ownership of my car to somebody. But you can create basically every type of financial contract on the blockchain and transfer it. Now, from financial services point of view, that sort of sounds trivial to a lot of people. That's actually mind-blowing. If I have Google shares right now, it's almost impossible for me to transfer those Google shares to anybody external. If you have a mortgage, you can't cut it up and start slicing it up and selling it. The same with any type of loans or insurance. So everything right now is sort of stuck in the databases of existing financial institutions. And the idea is, colored coins specifically, but other concepts around colored coins as well, it can do to basically what Bitcoin has done to money, it can do to any type of property rights, to any type of asset that could be driven over the blockchain. What I'll do now is I'll do actually a quick demo. Second. So let's see if I have voice here.
Bitcoin is a fantastic...
Can you increase the voice?
Bitcoin is a fantastic invention. Now you can send money directly to anyone and you don't need a bank or credit card company for it. Wouldn't it be great to trade anything as easily as you can send a Bitcoin from A to B? Today, if you want to trade assets like shares, bonds, or commodities, you're restricted to a small number of heavily regulated exchanges. This makes trading difficult and expensive. Colored coins makes trading as user-friendly and efficient as a Bitcoin payment. By coloring a Bitcoin, you turn it into a token that represents anything you want to trade. Company stocks, gold bars, or even a house or a car. Just like the HTTP protocol turned the internet into the user-friendly, colorful environment we know today, the colored coin protocol adds a new layer to Bitcoin that makes it much more useful. Now, instead of just sending cash through the Bitcoin network, you can use it to trade anything you want. You can even issue your own bonds or stocks. Colored coins makes the financial world accessible to everyone. Find out more at coloredcoins.org.
Colored coins, cool.
Okay, so the more advanced people have probably already saw this. So what I'll do now is I'll just give a quick examples of colored coins and how easy it is. And what's important for people to understand here is that David talked about tokenization and stuff and how you can build interesting stuff and how easy it is to create a coin. What I'll show you right now is really how easy it is. It's as easy as going to one of these wallets and just basically click a button and issue your own color. And what's really cool is that recently there has been exchanges to actually list those assets. So just as a quick example, this is Coin Prism, basically a startup using colored coin protocol. And as you can see in my wallet, this is a Bitcoin blockchain-based wallet where I have my Bitcoins, but I also have Euro coins, VENs, which I actually issued to the founder of VEN, micro coins, which are something that's going to be launched very soon, IBM coins that I gave to the system architect at IBM who's dealing with Bitcoins, dollar coins and gold coins. And these are all things that either I issued or somebody else issued and transferred them to me. And as you can see, I can actually click IBM coins and see that this right now is issued by JP Morgan. Well, not really, but in theory they represent the value of IBM coins, and now I can sell them, and other people can sell them to me, and other people can trade them. And you can see that it's easy to issue a new coin. I'll also show now. So this is the Chroma wallet. So I believe Or and Alex are here somewhere. Here, Or and Alex. So Alex was the first programmer who really caught up to a blog post I wrote about 2.5 years ago around colored coins. And he basically wrote this software which allows basically people to issue coins. And this is now, so if Flavians and CoinPrism is a web wallet. This is actually a hard wallet. And to basically create an asset, it's an easy, you can see here on mine that I have here basically Bitcoins, gold coins, IBM coins, and Euro coins. And just as last, I won't do the entire demo of showing how I'm sending stuff over, but what I will show is just something interesting, which is basically a third-party exchange, and that's really the beauty of the entire Bitcoin 2.0 technology, is once you create the Bitcoin 2.0 technologies, once you have these assets, it doesn't matter whether you created them through the wallet of Chroma Wallet or whether you created them on CoinPrism, they live on the blockchain, which means other people can create apps that connect to them. So Master Exchange, which started originally as something that just traded master coins, now allows people to actually create their own market. So if I created the micro coins and I created them using the CoinPrism, you can see actually here I already have the micro coins listed on an exchange where people can now trade micro coins into Bitcoins. And you can actually see there are orders here of buying and selling micro coins to Bitcoins, although there's no relationship, there's no integration directly between CoinPrism and Master Exchange. And on Master Exchange, you can see different versions, I'd say, of colored coins or types, whether it's counterparty, master coin, or colored coins. And I'm just going to show here, for every basically asset, you can have the order book, people trading it, and all you need is basically, if I'm going back here and I go to my IBM shares and I'll look at the profile of my IBM shares and I'll choose the asset ID. So these are IBM shares backed basically by me, and I'll go here to the markets and I'll say I want to create my own market. I'll just click here the property ID and say this is colored coins, and I'll search for it, and it's actually, as you can see, it actually found the IBM coins. It suggested a name for it, and all I do here basically is confirm, and it'll add it automatically to the market to allow people to trade it on Master Exchange. Now other people can build 100 more exchanges and 100 more wallets. This is completely, as Mark Anderson said, we need to unbundle the financial services ecosystem. This is basically unbundling, issuing of the currency, exchanges of those assets or currencies, and trading them. So this was a very quick example. You're all welcome, obviously, to go to stuff like Chroma Wallet, CoinPrism, or others to basically build colored coins and then go to places like Mastercoin and trade them because everybody can actually mint those assets. And as I mentioned before, Bitcoin 2.0 is really a concept, and colored coins is an idea. So on the blockchain, you have the master coin, counterparty, and different kernels of colored coins, where off the blockchain, you'll hear more from Vitalik about Ethereum and other basically solutions for Bitcoin 2.0 off the blockchain. That's about it. I'm open for questions if anybody has any questions. Can you say
something about the regulation?
Well, we're regulated in the UK, and we're talking to the financial regulator in the UK about Bitcoin first. So we just issued a paper to the FCA talking about how to regulate Bitcoin. I would say more from a regulatory point of view, there's still a mile they need to understand in order to understand how to regulate Bitcoin as Bitcoin before they go into regulating Bitcoin 2.0. So I'd say there's at least 2 years where this entire ecosystem is just unregulated. Thank you.